tiny quarantine tanks and why you need them. It's a very, very important
Hello,
topic.
YouTube.
We're getting ready to start here.
It's a two-man show today, so
Yeah, that's right.
43 seconds for Facebook. If you haven't hit subscribe on YouTube, you guys, make sure you subscribe. We're also live on Facebook. We're on Instagram, so don't miss any of those channels. New, fresh content on all of them.
Of course. We got 20 seconds. And the shares you'll do on yours.
Yes.
15 seconds.
Eight people on YouTube. Not a whole lot, but better than usual. We are live on Facebook, Dean.
We're ready? Are we ready?
Give him an intro.
Welcome everybody to Tiny Tuesday. It's also Small Talk. We're super excited that you are with us today and you are joining us. A lot of exciting news. We've got some announcements first. Aquashella is coming up August 18th and 19th up in Chicago. We're going to be up there walking around, showing off some water boxes. It's going to be a great, great time. Also, later on today, we're going to have a live question and answer on Facebook.
4 p.m.
At 4 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, talking about the 20-gallon all-in-one.
Yeah, we'll be doing, we're giving you guys a little bit of an update. So we're actually going to be streaming live on that tank. You'll be able to ask us anything about Waterbox.
Of course.
While we enjoy that beautiful Nano Aquarium over there, what's inside of it, and some music.
Love it, love it. So guys, we are getting ready to start the show. Stay with us, share this post, like us, comment below. We are ready to start. Let's Welcome back, everybody. Listen, it is Tuesday. It's Small Talk, Rich. And today we are talking about quarantine systems.
Yep, and why they're so important.
Yes. What is a quarantine system? Why do we need one? How does it work? A lot of people this is kind of a new topic for them. They really don't understand the whole concept of it, but we're here to educate you guys, and we're going to talk about quarantine. So we should probably get right into it. What is quarantine?
Okay, yeah. So we took some time, we put some slides together for you guys. So we're going to be talking about what are quarantine tanks. So Dean, the basics of a quarantine tank, right? It's a separate aquarium to house and isolate your fish when you buy a new fish, or maybe if you have an existing fish that's sick and you need to take it out and run medication that you wouldn't actually run in your aquarium itself, right?
Of course.
So they're not very complicated. And the beautiful thing about it, Dean, is our Waterbox all-in-one or cube systems are absolutely perfect for it. They keep the cost down. They go up to 50 gallons. I mean, makes it so simple. And there's a stat here at the bottom of the slide. Only 5% of aquarium owners utilize a quarantine tank.
Absolutely.
That means all of our Waterbox owners probably are taking that risk.
Yes, yeah, for sure. So guys, the one nice thing is that the Waterbox cubes basically come out of the box almost ready to roll as a quarantine tank. And so if you already have an aquarium, and you probably do watching this stream, or if you're getting ready to get into the hobby with us, the Waterbox comes with a built-in filtration system. And the cubes start at a 4-gallon and they go all the way up to 50 gallons. So we've got sizes for all different types of fish to quarantine. And it's really, really simple. the only thing we got to stress is that there is carbon in the Waterbox cube. And we want to take this carbon, throw it out. Because you don't need it, right? So, because that carbon is going to take that medication, it's going to absorb it. And so we want, if we're going to medicate this tank and put an isolated fish in here, we want him to be swimming in that medication.
If you guys haven't already, share this stream. That's what I'm doing right now. So
yeah, absolutely.
Make sure to share it with your friends. Like us on Facebook. Let's get this like box here to 1 million.
Yeah. Big shout out to Michael, Vinny, Angie, Jessica, Elmer, Jeremy, Brent. We do appreciate you checking in with us here live. If you have any questions, please comment below so we can answer those and give you some shout outs on it. Also, guys, we got these new Waterbox bracelets that are glow in the dark that are from, pretty much we got these for Aquashella. Really limited supply of these. We'll give away 5
I think that they can get
of these.
one too, right?
They can. So we're going to give away 5 of these to 5 people in this stream. If you comment, I love Waterbox, the first 5 people. Also private message us your address. We'll go ahead and send one of these to you. But yeah, really, really cool. They'll be up on the site later on.
Dean, I'm in a lot of groups, so this is taking me a second.
No worries, man. Share the stream, share it, because we want people to be educated about Waterbox. So let's talk back about quarantine. So let's say I'm at the fish store, I find a beautiful yellow tang species, and I'm like, man, this is a beautiful fish, but I have a big 130-gallon tank. I should put him in a quarantine first.
Yeah, I would suggest putting them in a quarantine for at least, I would say the minimum 30 days, sometimes 60, because you need to really make sure that they're not hiding some sort of parasite or sickness or ailment that you don't know about. Because what ends up happening is you put this yellow tang in your big old new aquarium full of fish. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, he has some sort of infection or something like that. Next thing you know, now your other fish are getting it. It might have ick or something like that. Your other fish are getting it, and you can't catch the fish. It's very difficult in an established system. So you catch that early. You have a quarantine tank. You can set these up for a couple $100.
Yeah, dude, easy out of the box. I say it's good for saltwater or freshwater. I noticed that Michael is asking that on this in the stream. Is it suitable for marine? Absolutely, it is.
Yes.
But as I said, it's a time, because ick is probably the most common, form of disease that we see. And what happens is I like to use my tank water into my quarantine system. So now the water is conditioned, and now I can medicate that directly, so it's not too much of a shock when I move them out of this tank and into my big tank.
Right.
Also, we should talk about, some other reasons of why do you need one of these.
Yeah. Okay. So let's jump over to those slides.
Yeah.
Here.
So here, hey, listen. We want to observe the new fish to make sure they're free of any ailments, but we could also use this for breeding. So let's say you're wanting to isolate, a pair of clownfish. Or something like that, or freshwater, you're trying to breed a pair of fish. A quarantine tank would be perfect.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because that way you can get them out of the tank. A lot of times if they're breeding, you'd have to like pull the rock out that they laid the eggs on. It just makes it a lot easier to isolate them and actually hatch and successfully breed those clownfish rather than in the tank.
Yeah, also the coral isolation to make sure that they're pest free, right, as a holding tank. So a lot of people, you want to dip your corals in a solution, like a preventative medication, and then when you pull them out, it's good to put them into your quarantine tank. Monitor it for a little bit, make sure they're doing okay. Really, really neat to do that, and then put them eventually back into your main system again. So really, really great things there. And let's talk about Waterbox and what do you need? How do we set up a tank? What does somebody need, Rich? When they're going to do this?
Well, luckily, because we've done a lot of the work for them.
Yep.
We've built in the filtration. We include the medias. We include the pump, and all your filtrations right here in the back. That simplifies it a lot. Let me just jump over here real quick. So, Waterbox all-in-ones, which is our cube and our silver marine all-in-one, range from 4 all the way up to 50 gallons. We say 10 because you're probably going to want a minimum of 10 as a quarantine tank. So once you buy the tank, you're going to need a heater, an LED light, and you want the light so that helps them with their natural activity throughout the day.
Yep.
And then some large, 2-inch PVC fittings or decorations that gives the fish somewhere to go or hide if they want.
Yeah.
And that's it. And depending on what you're treating, you're going to need, obviously some of the more popular medications.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the main thing is that you want a place for those fish to hide. Because what's going to happen is the fish is he's already stressed out. So if he's sick, he's already stressed. If you're bringing him into a new system, he's going to be stressed. So they kind of you want to, like those PVC pipes or some decorations, something for him to kind of chill out a little bit, let him calm down, let him take in the medication, let him chill out. And then after you can, target feed him, you can really observe that fish. And then eventually, as you said, after a few months, we can go ahead and move him over into the big tank.
Right.
So I think that'd be great. And a couple more shout outs to Todd, Anthony, he's going to see us at Aquacella, Melissa, Brent, Erica, Alexander. Brent says, what kind of maintenance would you recommend for this tank as a quarantine?
What kind of maintenance? Well, of course, you're going to be dosing medications, so that depends on what medications you're using.
Yeah.
But you want to treat it like any tank. You don't want to overfeed. You want to make sure you're filtering it properly, and you probably want to do water changes every couple of weeks, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. As in, don't also cross medications. So if you're running a certain medication in this tank, don't go ahead and, well, it's not working, I'm going to add another,
Right.
No.
You got to be real careful with that.
Yeah.
You need to follow real closely to the manufacturer's recommendations on the treatments. We don't sell treatments. There's a number on the market that you can research, but it's just be real careful with them. Make sure you follow the directions pretty close. And I had to pull this tank up, Dean, because again, this 20-gallon Waterbox cube has only been up for about a month and a half. We've done one water change on it. It looks amazing. And the biggest thing I love about this tank is it just shows you how attainable these reef aquariums are for really anybody.
Absolutely. Another shout out to Steve Berlin's watching us. Melissa says, what's the best way to clean a tank or filter, etc., after being used as a quarantine that was being used for unwell fish, ick fungus? Exactly. So you would definitely want to make sure you run carbon in that back into the tank to get any medication out of it. There's also certain resins and stuff on the market that actually remove copper and other metals and stuff like that, which you could run in the filter to help really kind of clean this thing out. You know what I mean? I guess somebody's asking, well, if you ever wanted to turn it back into a regular tank again, after using medication, you can do that. I said you just has to clean it real well and get it, tear it all down.
Yeah, just make sure to clean it up real nice, spray it out, wipe it down.
Yeah.
Don't use any harsh chemicals, obviously, if you're going to be setting it back up as an aquarium. But real easy.
Absolutely. Steve Berlin says, hey now, listen.
Hey now.
Steve Rogers is watching. We appreciate you, man. Listen, we're talking about quarantine tanks here, and everybody really needs one. And that one main thing you said, Rich, 5% of the people have a quarantine tank.
Right, only 5% of people.
Yeah.
And I understand why, to be honest, because it's a patience thing. You buy this beautiful new fish, and you want to put it right in your aquarium and be able to enjoy it, not have it sitting in some glass empty box for 30 or 60 days.
Exactly.
But in the long term, there you go.
I love that.
More
like people are watching.
So in the long term, it's really going to help tremendously with the overall health of your system. And
it is.
And one day you're going to buy a fish and you're going to see that it had an ailment that you didn't know about it, and you're going to be like, man, I'm really glad I spent a couple $100 to have a quarantine system.
Absolutely. Now, where can they buy these quarantine tanks?
That's a fantastic question.
Fantastic question. You can go to waterboxaquariums.com. We are now shipping the cubes directly from our site. Also, we have our vendor, saltwateraquarium.com, as well as got it listed, and your local fish store should have these as well.
As well as drfosterandsmith.com. So lots of options. Again, waterboxaquariums.com, Saltwater Aquarium, Dr. Foster Smith, your local retailer. There's no shortage.
Michael says, hello guys, nice video, we appreciate it. Vinny says, Blue Life USA has a perfect resins, whether from organic phosphate and nitrate to have water parameters. Lance says, awesome stuff, let's see if you get my name right. Of course we got our Lance. We always get it
but
right.
You didn't say the whole thing.
I didn't say the last thing because I don't want to butcher that one. But we do appreciate you checking in with us. We love the comments. Remember, you got to get you a bracelet, glow in the dark. It's Waterbox. Man.
We'll have these available on the site, you guys, here pretty soon. So you want to pick one up for all you Waterbox fans. Glow in the dark. We're going to be at Aquacella. If you want one of these, you got to find us at Aquacella. Otherwise, you're not going to get one.
That's
so
right.
come say hi to us.
That's right.
Let's
Scott
talk
Crow
about
is
Waterbox.
watching. He just checked in. Alexander, what is ideal aquarium size for a beginner? Great question. You know, some people say the larger the tank, the easier it is to take care of. You know, although the 20-gallon that we have here is, man, it's
That's
pretty.
for a beginner. That's going to be, I would say, the smallest, in my opinion, smallest size for a beginner. That 20-gallon right here is the perfect size for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
It's really easy to maintain. It's pretty cost effective. I think we set that up for like $400 with the light.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. I mean, that tank, it retails for $200 here in the U.S. So you throw a light on it, a heater, man, you're off and running with that tank. Lance says, we nailed it on his name, of course. Sean says, can the 4-gallon serve as a quarantine, or should you go with the bigger ones? Well, and I think it all depends on the size of the fish also that you have. I mean, now, if you've got a little tiny, you know, goby, well, yeah, I mean, you could do a small tank. Absolutely. But if, you know, for most moderately sized fish, the regular fish you're going to keep in, especially a reef aquarium, I would say a 10 to 20 gallons is going to be the best. I would say so, yeah.
But if you're just keeping a tiny little guy, a 4-gallon would suffice, I think. You just have to be real careful with the parameters, because the smaller the tank, the bigger the swings.
Yes. Robert says, he shared with my group, can you give a shout out to number my reef support group? We are trying to get as many people as we can to get those quarantine tanks set up. Love your work. Of course, Robert, we'll do some shout outs.
Thank you, Robert.
We appreciate it. As I said, guys, we're talking quarantine, we're talking Waterbox, a lot of exciting stuff. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Waterbox Live is coming back at you.
Oh, man.
Listen, I'm telling you, we're taking this tank to the next level, and you people are going to be freaking out. I mean, it's really, really awesome. So definitely, Giovanni says, what's up, guys? By far the best tanks in the market. Yes,
Woo!
yes.
Love it.
Melissa says, much love to my group, Aussie Fish Keepers. Hell yeah. We love you guys. Now, come on. Stay with us next week, guys. Actually, not your next tomorrow, Wednesday, we are installing some pumps on the 100.3. You're going to check this out. It's fantastic. Rich, I think we're ready to go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, question and answer on the 20 at 4 o'clock today. Thanks for tuning in with us.
Love you guys. Thank you.